in the house going to be joining us. The great Brady Cannon will be kicking to us. Our good friend Tony Finn. We welcome the awesome Joe D'Amico to the MGM Grand. We've got Monica Madrid representing the San Francisco 49ers. I just ran into my boy, Clay Harbor, on the Strip, and Clay always comes on with us every year at the Super Bowl. We didn't run into each other this week on Media Row. I just saw him on the Strip. I said, yo, bro. He said, we didn't do the hit. I said, man, you can do the hit live, man. We're kicking it at the MGM Grand Sportsbook. Come on over. He said, I'm going to come. So we're waiting on Clay Harbor to join us a little bit later on. And speaking of the Chicago Bears, we got a Bear fan sitting next to us, the one and only Taylor Mathis in the house. What's going on, Taylor Mathis?
Nothing much, except for all the craziness and amazingness going on right now in Vegas.
Hey, this place is hopping. It's still early. Imagine. It's only 5 o'clock Vegas time right now. Look at this place. Just imagine what it's going to be around 11, midnight tonight.
I know. The craziness really starts to ensue Friday, Saturday before the Super Bowl.
So how has your week been so far here in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada?
Amazing. It's been amazing. I mean, we're blessed to the fact that we get to be here, work, and do this job and cover something as great as the Super Bowl. Amazing to say the least. My feet hurt a little bit in these shoes I've been walking in today, but besides that, I have no complaints.
For people that think that we're complaining about walking too much, everybody knows. Everybody that's even hanging out here as tourists know. You walk more. You come to Vegas to party, you end up walking like 22,000 steps.
Yep.
To the casino, to the restaurant, back to my room, back to the casino, to the sports book. We're going out. You end up walking like 18 miles. So me, I'm worn out, man. I'm like, man, I'm just like, and then I realized, as Taylor just said, I'm like, dude, you're complaining to yourself. You're going to interview a San Francisco 49er cheerleader in about 5 minutes, and you're hanging out with Pat McAfee, and you're complaining that you're walking too much. I think a lot of people would want to be in your shoes. But Taylor today ran into a dude on the Dallas Cowboys. I said, bro, how's the week been for you? He goes, man, I've walked way too much, man. Professional football players said the same thing. He goes, man, I don't walk this much. That's what he told me.
Too much walking in Vegas. I could agree. And, hey, you're not doing it in heels, Gabe. Do it in heels, and that's a whole different story, boys. Let me tell you.
We should actually compare who has nicer footwear.
I don't know.
This is the Rex Ryan special right here.
Look at that.
Look at these.
I don't think I can get my foot up there.
I'm pretty flexible.
I can't get it up there because my mic is attached to the shoe. I could get it up there.
Taylor's like, no, I'm not lifting my leg on the desk.
I'm in a dress, and
I told you things are going to get crazy here. I'm already, we're getting nuts. We're getting crazy. So, all right. So from the crowd that's here early, are you guys pulling for the San Francisco 49ers? Niners, yeah, baby. Or we got Kansas City Chiefs fans here. Whoa.
I heard more Niners.
I got to tell you, all week long, Niner fans are the drunker ones. They're the louder ones. So I don't know. Maybe KC fans just starting to show up right now. So what did you do this week? Normally you're at golf courses and parties and, you're all over social media. So what did you have going on this week?
Oh, gosh. Well, let's see. SportsGrid's had me all over the place. Yesterday was at the Sports Illustrated Invitational golf event. Was great. Had an amazing time. Got to talk to a lot of really great NFL players while we were there. Little cold on the course, but besides that, great time. Today was on Radio Row all day, alongside you, doing the thing, getting everything done, and now here we are.
And what a day it was today. We're going to end with a bang. Tonight's gambling night. Tonight's betting night. We've had a lot of guests, and we're doing this and that. It's all about the picks tonight. Joe D'Amico's got a full slate of props that he's ready to share with us, and he's hammering these things. So I look forward to seeing what Joe likes in this game. I'm going to share my props. I've been sharing quite a few of them this week. Obviously, today we were very fired up about going on the Pat McAfee show. So we go on the Pat McAfee show. Listen, guys, you can't make this up. That Pat's like the hottest. That's the hottest show in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan Patrick, always been one of my favorite hosts of all time. And, the thing about Dan Patrick is he never stumbles. And I've always been fascinated over the years about how polished and amazing he is. And while I'm on with Dan Patrick, while I'm on with Pat McAfee today, Dan Patrick crashes the set. It was almost surreal. And somebody has a still shot, and I was actually like, and so Dan Patrick hadn't been on ESPN since he left. And then he goes, I'm allowed to swear now, though, right? And I can't right now. But he goes, hey, what's up, F-face? Let's say he called us duck face. And then I said, man, I got a lot of props here, Dan, but you saying duck face on national television was not on my prop sheet here. What an epic day today. Hang with this awesome stuff, epic stuff. And Dan was talking about Brent Musburger and how Brent Musburger should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So many other broadcasters are. And I met Brent Musburger earlier in the week. I was thrilled about that. So I've had a great time this week, and we're going to have some fun tonight here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to have some fun right here on the grid as well. Who was the coolest person that you met that you're like, man, that was cool this week?
Oh, Emmitt Smith, hands down this morning.
Emmitt Smith, huh?
I'm a giant. You said I was a Bears fan, Gabe. I'm a Cowboys fan.
You're a Cubs fan, so I figured you're Chicago.
Well, we know I'm a giant Cubs fan, but I'm
a Cowboys fan. You're everywhere. That's right.
Through. I had to tell my dad.
Okay, so what happened? Sorry, what happened with? Because you're right. You bet the under. You were gonna have to get a Bears tattoo, right?
Yes.
It came pretty close.
It came down to the last game.
Were you worried?
Down 7.5 was the number. I was a little. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't that worried. I took the under early as a future for a reason, so I got to stick to my conviction of what I picked. The under ended up hitting, and I don't have to get a Bears tattoo.
Why did you become a Cowboy fan?
My dad, born and raised in Iowa, no pro team. He grew up watching Emmitt Smith, Troy.
Maybe they really are America's team.
They're America's team.
I think the Buffalo Bills are America's team. That's what I say.
No.
Like, really? You know what? I didn't even know Bill's name. I didn't even know Bill's Mafia
right there.
The Cowboys aren't America's team.
The Cowboys are America's team.
The Cowboys suck. All right. Anyway, we'll stay on track here. We're gonna stay on track. You know who doesn't suck? The Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. I look forward to getting your picks on the other side. Joe D'Amico is going to step up and in. We've got Tony Finn. We got Brady Cannon. Clay Harbor's on the radar with us. We've got Monica Madrid, who's got a super popular football podcast. All the players go on her show because it's called Football is Sexy.
Oh,
right? Yeah.
I like it. I love the name.
It's a good name.
Love the name.
She was actually like one of the first ones, to teach. They have classes about the NFL, teaching football and stuff. And
how interesting.
Yeah. So I look forward to speaking to her.
Wow.
She's a diehard 49er fan.
So we know where she's going.
So what about from a betting perspective? How excited are you for this game?
Oh.
Do you have a ton of props?
Of course I do, Gabe. You know I've got a slew. I've got sheets of props, but I am a quality over quantity type of
you
person.
So
I only give out
you're,
my favorites.
Yeah. You're not like us that's coming in. I already have like 24 props bet, and we haven't even really gotten into the player props yet. But we've waited so long for that. Then now maybe it's time to play the unders on the player market. Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If he doesn't run well, the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts for Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off, the Chiefs do, 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this. Like, because of the $23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I
don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat
Look,
bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
That's
around.
not a purse or
this
man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency. We're kicking it live at the MGM Grand, straight from the Strip in Las Vegas, Nevada. Countdown to kickoff continues. We've had an epic week here on Media Row and here at the MGM as well. And as you can see, our set is starting to fill up right now. We're sitting alongside Taylor Mathis, but let's welcome Joe D'Amico to the program. Joe, welcome to SportsGrid. Thanks a lot for taking the time to be with us. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. One of my favorite places on the planet, MGM Grand. I'm here every week just socially because I love it here. See shows. I eat here. I bet in one of my favorite books on the planet, Bet MGM.
They have a great
Thank you
new
for
app.
having me.
Hey, great stuff, Joe. Listen, you've lived here for 35 years, and you've been gambling for 35 plus years. How do you feel? How does it? Isn't it just so surreal to actually listen? Vegas has always been the place to be Super Bowl weekend, as it is, right? Even more so than most of the host cities. But now you're combining the actual game and Vegas. You just can't top it.
Well, my friend, I've got to tell you, Vegas is and has been and always will be the epicenter of the universe, all right, guys? It has always been the epicenter of the universe. I came here when I was 20 years old on vacation. I bought a house. I never left. God, the only way I'm leaving is in a box, and I ain't leaving anytime soon. I love this city, and it is electric all year round. But we've got baseball. We've got football. We've got baseball coming. We've got football. We've got hockey, guys. Down the road, we'll have basketball. But this is the entertainment capital of the world, and it is the only place to have a Super Bowl.
And even this weekend, guys, it's amazing, Taylor. There's like a WrestleMania press conference that's open to that's open to fans,
Right.
In which they're going to attack each other. It's basically a wrestling event. You've got Power Slap tonight, the first ever Power
Oh,
Slap.
that's tonight
Yeah,
here as well.
That's right. That's at the Durango tonight in Las Vegas. You've got UFC tomorrow night at the Apex.
You've had the live going on.
You've got the Live Golf tournament going on.
There was a professional fight last night.
Yeah, you've got the Lopez-Ortiz fight, in which Lopez is lucky he got that decision last night. I was on Lopez via decision. You two were playing every night, basically at the Sphere. Like, who is it? Like, you can't keep up
Who's
with everything.
not here if you're not in Vegas right now?
Including
You're
Taylor
missing out.
Mathis is here. So,
You're missing out.
what do you got for us, Taylor? Let's start off with your props. What are some of your best prop bets for Super Bowl 58?
I will start with my favorite, and it's all about George Kittle. And I've said it once, I've said it twice,
Love
I've
it.
said it 3 times. I hate betting against George Kittle. I went to Iowa with him, fellow Hawkeye of mine. But I've got to go with him, longest reception, under 21.5 yards. I love this play because the Chiefs defend the tight end position so well, and they allow for the 3rd lowest amount of explosive plays within the NFL. 39 different tight ends that they've gone against this season. Only 36% of them have gone over 21.5 receiving yards total. Only 2 of them have gone over that longest reception prop. It's my favorite play of the game by far. Kittle under 21.5 receiving, longest prop.
You see everybody?
Yardage.
There's no notes. There's no computer. That was unbelievable.
That's just me talking.
See, Joe needs notes, but only he remembers everybody because he's got so many damn bets. That's why he's like, he's showing me, because I got a big list here. That was amazing. I like where you're going with that, and for you to jump in on this, Joe. When you said Kittle, I actually think Kittle is a massive part of this football game. But Taylor is bang on as far as the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, great tight end, hadn't played, came back, played his first game. He actually did have 4 catches in the game, but for what, 31 yards? Taylor is exactly right. The Kansas City Chiefs are a big bend but don't break. Everything in front of them. I like George Kittle over 3.5 receptions, but I like where you're going with the longest reception right there. Joe, what's your take?
Well, guys, I want you to know, betting props, especially during the Super Bowl, back in the day, the Super Bowl was the only time we could bet props. But now, because of BetMGM and whatnot and the explosion of sports betting, you can bet 100 props on every game every day of the week. But I want to teach you one thing. Less is more. I'd rather have one wife like Heidi Klum than 100 that look like Rosie O'Donnell. Be particular. If you want to bet 50 props, fine, bet $5 a prop and have all the fun in the world. But if you're serious about making money, whittle those down to the rare few you feel are going to bring you money, bring you profit. Listen, this should be enjoyable and profitable, but it's always been my experience that when I'm making a profit, it's more enjoyable.
It's more fun when you're making
enjoyable.
money.
Listen, Meg, I would like to give an example. There's a prop out there on Mahomes. Is he going to throw a touchdown pass? Do I think he's going to throw one? I think he's going to throw more than one. However, it's between where you go, and I think BetMGM earlier today had a minus 500. Do I want to lay a nickel to win 100? To me, that doesn't bring me value. I will only play props that bring me value, and you should too, sports fans.
Taylor Mathis and Joe D'Amico with us. Taylor, so you started off with George Kittle here. Under longest reception, what else are you looking at?
I hate to bet an anytime touchdown prop because that market is just so volatile. You never know. You could get somebody like Tyreek Hill on the Dolphins, who almost scores every game,
and
then you go to bet
taking
it.
a long shot, there is not really value on the market.
Yes, we're not betting Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown. If I'm going to go with anybody, though, going with Deebo Samuel for an anytime touchdown, he's a jack of all trades player. He can run it into the house, he can catch it, and what that man does after contact is elite within the NFL. Deebo Samuel's had 12 touchdowns this season, most in his career, yet to have one in the postseason. The Super Bowl's got to be the game. Give me Deebo Samuel to get in the end zone.
All right, so Taylor's only going to be with us for a couple of more minutes. She's been on Media Row since like 7 a.m.
I have.
And I don't know how long you were late last night. I don't know how you do this.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're younger than me and Joe.
I guess I'm running on pure adrenaline at this point. Yes.
I knew she was going to be this platform with you and I, so she's up for it. You know what I'm saying?
I was ready. Well, Gabe always brings the energy, so I gotta hype myself up when I know that I'm on with Gabe.
We got to end the week strong. Okay, another prop or two, and then we've got about 3 minutes with you. As far as the game itself, we'll get your game breakdown and who you like and why, but any other props?
I've got one more, and I'm going with it because it's worth a little sprinkle, and it's in plus money. I'm going to go with Isaiah Pacheco to be the leading rusher within the game. Everybody's going to be all over Christian McCaffrey. He has not been as efficient throughout the playoffs as Isaiah Pacheco has been for the Chiefs. He's been the leading rusher in every single playoff game this season for the Chiefs. That's not been the case for Christian McCaffrey. I like to put a little bit of money on that, especially with the value that you're getting there.
Okay, so the actual game itself, the main event of the weekend, baby. Who do you like to win Super Bowl 58?
Gabe, give me the Chiefs. We cannot have the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, the soon-to-be next dynasty, Tom Brady, the Patriots, Bill Belichick. We have the next one in the flesh.
I'm already annoyed.
How are they underdogs? Explain to me. If that were me, I'm going to come in, I'm going to prove my point that I am the best that's out there.
I can't justify, Joe. I mean, we've asked people all week why is the point spread the way it is because of the perception, but it's their power rankings, and they're not moving their power rankings even though it's the Super Bowl.
Well, I talked to a couple of racing sportsbook directors this morning and throughout the day, and several big bets, major bets, the biggest chunk bets are coming in on the Niners, on the money line. The general public is all betting the Chiefs, but I want you to know, guys, a bookmaker does not put out a line that sometimes is accurate. He puts it out, or they put it out, that they know they're going to get play on both sides. Understand that. That is the bookmaker's job, to get play on both sides, make sure it's attractive to every type of bettor.
You know what's amazing, Taylor, talking about the point spread here. Number one, the San Francisco 49ers, guys, they've been favored in every game that they played this year. the last team to be favored in every game throughout the National Football League season and postseason, the 1994 San Francisco 49ers, the last time they won the Super Bowl. All right? Just letting you know that. Another interesting thing about this is this is only the instance in which there's a Super Bowl rematch, not necessarily where the same coaches are going head-to-head. The coach that lost the Super Bowl did lose again, like both times. And the 8th rematch in Super Bowl history, so it's the 8th rematch in Super Bowl history. The team that won the first time has won 5 of the 7 times. 5 and 2.
Absolutely. But I think that these two coaches, I mean, I would say the Niners coach has come a long way. I think he's definitely matured. Plus, he's got a mature team now.
Dude, he's been so close to the finish line. He's like
right
a horse
there.
that's broken down right there, Taylor. 28 in the Super Bowl. They had a 10-point lead in the other Super Bowl. They had a 10-point lead against the Rams in the conference championship game. People forget about that. Just like Harbaugh just won and it was his time, it's Shanahan's time. Shanahan's going to get that Vince Lombardi trophy. Taylor Mathis in the house with us. Let's go Niners. We're getting fired up. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Oh, yeah, Texas.
Next year. It could be.
You got it.
Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If he doesn't run well, the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco, anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts for Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, like, because of the 23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I
don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat
Look,
bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
That's
around.
not a purse or
this
man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
Hey, by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency. Welcome back to SportsGrid's coverage of Super Bowl 58. We're live from the beautiful MGM Grand, straight from the Strip in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're just a punt, kick, and a pass away from Allegiant Stadium right here, literally and figuratively. And I tell you what, you talked about loving the MGM. I'm a big fan of Mandalay Bay and the entire property. And not a lot of facilities could pull off having a media center and a boxing match going on. Like just the security, not to mention there's all kinds of people here that aren't even have anything to do with the Super Bowl. Just like people, U2 concerts and drunk people in casinos. And it really is amazing. It's great stuff. And speaking of great stuff, come down to BetMGM. They got a booklet of props here, Joe. We got a booklet of props. So let's get started on some of these here. Something I'm looking at here, I'm going to sort of go in order here. First half, second half wagering, double result, whatever you want to call it, etc. In the 3 Super Bowls that Mahomes has played in, never had the lead once, Joe.
No.
Never had the lead once at the half before.
Yep.
They were down double digits last year. They were down 10 to Philadelphia. They got punched in the mouth, and they were getting, drilled by Tampa. They got smoked in that game.
Yeah.
And the first Super Bowl that they played against San Francisco, the game was tied at the half. I do like the San Francisco 49ers in the first half. And if you look at Shanahan and his track record, he doesn't have a problem. His scripts are great, right? Look, he was the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons. They had a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. He's the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. They had a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter against the Kansas City Chiefs. People forget the year that the Rams won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, the Niners were up by double digits on the Rams. Shanahan is they're prepared. The plays are scripted. They're very good first half team. I know in these playoffs was different, but in these big championship games, his teams have been ready to play, but they've faded as the game has gone on. And Kansas City have been slower starters in these big games. I do like San Francisco personally in the first half. Before we get to your game take, but what do you think of that angle?
Well, I think if you're going with history, certainly, that is the tendency in this matchup. Is it something that I bet? I didn't bet this, but I could certainly justify betting it.
I know you're leading KC. We'll get to this in a minute, but how about this?
Yeah.
San Francisco to win the first half, Kansas City to win the game is plus 550.
That's not bad. And I'm more of a meat and potatoes better. I like to keep it a little simpler, but I could certainly see that. There was one bet around town. It was Kansas City Chiefs, Mahomes touchdown, Mahomes rushing touchdown, passing touchdown. And if they win, plus about 8-1. I like to keep it a little simpler, but I could certainly see that. Let me put it this way. I would sprinkle a few bucks on it.
You don't want them to be down at the half either.
It doesn't bother me because I will get into this later when I go through my analysis on the game. But honestly, if Patrick Mahomes is down, he's been here before. He's won on this platform. He doesn't rattle. The team don't rattle. They're all business. I do think, and I will touch base in a minute, that San Francisco is going to come in here a little overconfident. But that's a whole other story. That's the one I give out my pick.
One thing that I found interesting about both teams this week is that the Kansas City Chiefs reportedly had to, and not reportedly, they talked about it themselves, the players. Saw Travis Kelce saying that was a very physical walkthrough.
Yeah.
Chris Jones said we had to dial it back a little bit, that we were so fired up. And today we heard the same thing from San Francisco. Yesterday was KC, but today, Joe, was San Francisco's last. They call it Fast Friday.
Yeah.
Everything's fast, everything's real. Like on Fridays with Shanahan, it's real now, right? They're not smoking each other, but it's like the exact thing is they ran 10 plays on defense. They ran a no-huddle drill. They ran this, they ran that, and everything was real of what they're going to do in the game. It was their last sort of deal. They have a little walkthrough at the hotel tomorrow. What are the feeling that you got from the information you saw this week about these teams? Did you like something? And let me say something. Sorry, Joe. Of course, there was so much talk about the practice field. The 49ers didn't complain about it publicly. Behind the scenes, they're livid.
Yeah.
All right? They think that they got screwed. And get this, guys, if you guys don't know this, somebody set the fire alarm off.
I heard that.
At the 49ers hotel at 6 in the morning this morning and didn't turn it off for 18 minutes. The Niners also feel that it wasn't an accident. Like, I'm just telling you what the players are saying. All right? No, they don't want to go on record. They just said that was no accident. They said, how come they didn't turn it off right away? 18 minutes. What do you make of this? Is someone screwing with the Niners, or is this just in their heads?
Well, I think them to blow it out of proportion is in their heads. I think they are confident. I don't think either one of these teams are here by accident. They're the two best teams in football. They both deserve to be here. But I think the media plays listen, like a LeBron foul, and he falls back 20 yards. I'm going to be honest with you. Can I move LeBron? No, the guy's 240 of muscle. Nobody's moving him, but the acting. I think there's a lot of media. I think everything is blown out of proportion. But both of these teams have earned to be here, and they've had 2 weeks to get ready for it. So obviously, both camps are going to get their little media. Their day in the sun. They're 15 minutes of fame each day. So I know earlier on it was Kansas City, then it was San Francisco. I think the media plays it off. I'm not going to overread it or go into it a little too much. I think that it's a little bit of media hype, but I think both teams are ready to play.
And at this point as well, let's be real, man. What can they really practice? Like seriously.
No.
Like if I'm a coach, and I was surprised actually to hear, but they really didn't practice much leading up to this. So they had a couple of one contact type of practice, and they told everyone to chill out after and tone it down. But we're 21 weeks in now, bro. Like if you're not locked in now and you don't know what you're doing now, then you're probably in trouble, right?
Yeah, well,
there's little things you want to tweak, but that's more film and walkthrough, and right, that's more study sessions with the positional groups. What do you make of the fact? Did you go back to the game 4 years ago? Did you use this in a handicap at all?
No, not at all. First of all, there's 28 teams right now playing golf this week, Gabe. They're not playing in the Super Bowl, and these two teams deserve to be here. One thing I don't do, a lot of gamblers out there do, they judge past performances and make their current bets because of them. Listen, you can't watch a game 1 week and then
we're predicting the future, not the past. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sports betting is a living, breathing thing. It changes. Players change. Obviously, tendencies, you could put a little bit of stock in, but you can't put all the stock in. These two head coaches are bright. They got good offensive and defensive coordinators, and they've got arguably the two best, well, not arguably, the two best teams in the league, two of the best defenses in the league, two very good quarterbacks. You got one guy who's trying to be established and make his name, and the other guy who is established. So I want you to know there's a lot of angles in this matchup, but the bottom line is the line is off here.
You feel that the wrong team is favored?
I do feel the wrong team is favored, but that's because if they would have put this even at a pick'em or Kansas City a 1.5 point favorite, they would have got bombarded with.
But look what happened when the number, because there were actually some threes out there briefly earlier in the day. There, the advanced numbers, etc. There were a lot of books that had hypothetical Super Bowl matchups up already, and there was actually threes. They quickly became 2.5. So right after the Lion-Niner game ended, it was 2.5. Mm-hmm. Joe, it didn't take long. It was bet to 1.
Oh, it was.
It
We're
was.
see money come in right away.
Yeah, but look, it's been bet back up.
Oh, absolutely.
And as you stated, we saw, earlier in the day, I think there was an $800,000 bet placed on San Francisco. I got to be honest, though, I never make anything of that, bro. You know what I mean? I respect your 80-dime play more than if I see somebody. Dude, it could just be a rich guy. It doesn't mean you're sharp because you're dropping $800K on a game, right?
I've been given the moniker by the racing sportsbook people here in town, and thank you for all your love and support as Las Vegas' biggest daily sports bettor. Obviously, I don't bet $1 million a game. I bet up to 6 figures a game, and I will tell you this. We do see that big action, all right? But you never know if a guy's betting both sides either.
Yeah.
If he's spreading money around town to bet the other side, so he tries the middle of the game. However, I will tell you this. This time of year, you're going to get a lot of big bets. You're going to get a lot of exotic bets. You're going to get a lot of celebrities. Someone told me Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, yeah, the celebrity bets. Great point.
He spent like $1.2 million on his box. I don't know. Whoever he's on, I'm going against. I'll tell you that. Guy hasn't won a bet since I had hair. So I will tell you that. I love him. Great fighter. Nicest guy in the world. But the guy, when it comes to sports, let me tell you this. There's a reason why I'm not in the ring anymore. He is. And there's a reason why I am one of the best gamblers in the world, and he isn't.
No, I know. We're all great at every. You got to know what you're great at, right?
Absolutely.
And the thing is, he's so rich he can afford it. But
listen, I ain't playing one-on-one with LeBron.
I lived here, and from 2010 to like 2014, spent a lot of other time beside living here. But I used to hang at the M, And like you said, there was a reason why they didn't mind when they, and he sends his boys, not always him, right? So we'd be there, right? And you see guys, it's right out of a movie too. Like guys coming in with a gym bag, dropping like $250,000. All right, give me 100 on the Sixers, give me this. And to be real, normally, like when people ask what were the bets, people fade them after.
Absolutely, they do. Absolutely, especially
it's like the Drake curse.
Especially because the line's going to move on it. The Drake curse. Oh my God, we can't even talk about him this week. Oh, he's been in the news a lot. But you know, you're going to get a lot of exotic bets, a lot of big bets. You get some of the bigger bettors, and you know, there's been some talk this week about some of the big bettors in the world coming in, betting money, betting this side. Are they betting it as a ploy so the line would move and they bet the other side? Guys, listen. You do your due diligence. Everybody's got a computer.
We're going to smash Super Bowl betting records.
Oh,
though.
absolutely.
From now legal in 38 states, and then the actual Super Bowl here in Vegas. And great point by Joe. There's probably, I'm thinking, maybe 50, not probably 50 to 100 million, 80, 75 to 100 million in celebrity bets. Like Joe just said. Like how many? Like Barkley. How many Barkley's going to drop? You know what's funny? Barkley was saying anybody that would pay all this money for a Super Bowl ticket's a damn fool. This guy drops like $400K at like a roulette table. So like,
go figure.
So yeah, don't call people out for going to the Super Bowl, Chuck. We love you, but come on, bro. They really.
Absolutely.
Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If he doesn't run well, the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts for Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, like, because of the 23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I
don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat
Look,
bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
not a purse or
this
man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
Hey, by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency. We're kicking at the beautiful MGM Grand, right in the heart of the Strip, right down the street from Allegiant Stadium. The place is hopping. The Strip is hopping. We've been here all week. There's been a different dynamic and a different vibe every day. The weather hasn't been great, but it doesn't matter. I've said this before, Joe. People are like, oh, the weather's not great. I'm like, how many times have you been to Vegas, bro, when the weather was beautiful outside,
Absolutely.
but you were in the casino all day anyway?
Absolutely.
So yeah, the weather. But Niner fans are starting to buzz around. Mandalay Bay is just, that was where the fan expo is. It's going to be, you can go down still tomorrow as well. Really cool stuff. If you're a football fan, all kinds of football players,
absolutely.
NFL players are there. Jackets like this, not quite like this, because everyone's coming up to me and go, man, that's a sweet jacket. And how about the back of this jacket, too, Joe? You like this Las Vegas style?
Oh, I love it. That is fantastic. And Gabe was nice enough to tell me that everybody on the show today gets a free jacket.
Yeah, yeah, free drinks, free jackets. Hey, we're not Pat McAfee here. We're not giving. I'm not one of those guys. I'll give $5,000 to the next person that retweets my post, right? So let's get Let's get back to the game here. Why do you like Kansas City? You talked about you think the wrong team is favored, but
I do.
You think Kansas City are the better football team? Is it Brock Purdy's inexperience? What do you think is the Niners' downfall?
Well, I don't think the Niners have too many downfalls. Sports fans, there's no question both teams deserve to be here. As a matter of fact, I predicted in the preseason that these two teams would fight for the Lombardi Trophy. By the way, named after another great Italian. Just want to throw that out there. All right, my friends, having said that, with all respect to the Niners and Brock Purdy.
Gene Steratore was on the show I was on today.
Italian.
Gene Steratore, there was a lot of paisans.
Listen, we're great. We're Montana, Vince Ferragamo, Dan Marino.
Vince Ferragamo, former Montreal Concorde, baby.
I love you. You're the best. Shout out
After
to
the
Italians.
Rams, he played for the Montreal Concords in the
Did he
CFL.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know they still had football in Canada.
Yeah.
I'm messing with you.
Good football.
I love you. I know they have good football. I keep a good ear on everything that goes on up there. As I mentioned, Brock Purdy and the Niners, they just haven't proven to me that they could win at this level. I know Purdy wasn't here a few years ago when the 49ers made it to the big game, but I still feel they're a little bit short of what they need to do to win the Super Bowl. Now, whether you like it or not, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are the new Tom Brady and the Patriots. Not only have they gotten here quite a few times over the last several seasons, they have won on this platform. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Whatever you did prior to making it to the Super Bowl, doesn't matter. The point is moved. Now, Mahomes, my opinion, he's a money player. There are money players and there are fun players. I know we had some Bills Mafia out here. I don't want to piss off anybody, but I'll be honest with you. Josh Allen's a fun player. Lamar Jackson is a fun player. When the big game comes down, they do not win. Patrick Mahomes is a money player, okay? And I've been hearing a lot of talk this week, Gabe, about that they're not the team they once were, which I don't understand. And even they can't stop the run. Well, tell that to the Ravens in the conference title game, who are the best rushing team in the NFL. They shut them down. All right. On defense, this team possesses a stop unit that has not allowed a single opponent to put up better than 27 this season. My friends, after the conference title win, this is a big point to me. And I know, even the great folks here at BetMGM are going to love this. All right. After the conference title game, Patrick Mahomes was interviewed on the field and made it a point to say that him and the team were very aware. They were cognizant of the fact that they were underdogs. They know they were underdogs. It did not sit well with them.
They're feeding off of it.
They're feeding off of it. And I do feel on the opposite side they're coming a little overconfident.
Like when Kelsey gets booed, when he says, keep doing it. I love it. He goes, it gets me more excited for the game.
Gabe, we saw a lot when there was a professional fight here last night. You touched base on it. If I'm the heavyweight champ and I'm undefeated, and there's a new kid on the block, and he's going to come in as the favorite, I'm going to go out of my way to make an example of him.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, there's a big difference between a heavyweight champion and these two teams.
Let me tell you something here, too, Joe, as far as the experience. We had Dhani Jones on set yesterday. He's played in 2 Super Bowls, national champion with the Michigan Wolverines, 1997, Tom Brady's teammate, greasy like legends, right?
Yeah.
And I said, who do you like? He picked KC. He said, hey, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a great game. Pick KC. I said, why? And he goes, experience. And I said, so what about the experience? And it wasn't that, Brock Purdy is too young or whatnot. He said the Super Bowl is like no other game.
No.
He said, until you play in a Super Bowl, you don't really realize.
You don't hear the fans anywhere else.
He said, like, the magnitude of the Sunday morning. And he basically, said, the pressure, right? And he goes, not so much the pressure. He said, everything is different. He said, you're not in your routine. You have a bus. There's police escorts. He said, you never get to go on the field before the game. He goes, you can't go on the field because there's people out there.
A different feel. It's
yeah, and he said, he's
impersonal.
He talked about the
halftime.
halftime. He talked about the halftime being longer. He talked about the commercial breaks being longer. All things that we notice as fans, players notice as well. Yeah. And he basically said, you have to be strong and focused because there'll be stuff that's going to bother you in the Super Bowl that, not like the game. You're going to be like, man, okay, fine. Everyone loves Rihanna. I want to play football. I don't want to sit here for 35 minutes, right? I'm used to sitting here for 12 minutes, right? All those type of things, really, that's the dynamic. But the Niners were in the Super Bowl 3 years ago.
Yes.
Purdy wasn't.
Well, he was not, but they did not win. And I got to be honest with you. What I really do love about Patrick Mahomes, what I like about this team is they went to the Super Bowl, they won. They went to the Super Bowl, they lost. They came back, they won again. That says a lot about you. What's the old saying? It's not how hard you get hit, it's how you get hit and keep coming back. Guys, this is a team that even if they fall behind, you mentioned that you like the San Francisco 49ers in the first half. If they fall behind, they don't rattle. You can't rattle them.
No, they don't.
And I'll tell you something else. If they are ahead early, guys, They are like Joe Louis, the greatest heavyweight finisher of all time. They just knock your butt out. I'll tell you, I think this team is
That's why Pacheco got so many carries, actually, because, like you said, they just suffocated Miami when they had the lead. They suffocated Baltimore for the most. Although Baltimore did move the ball in the second half. They just didn't capitalize. Let's get to your props. Okay. What do you like?
Well, I chose a few props that I feel I can make money on. Now, the last 2 years in the Super Bowl, I made six figures each year betting something. And once again, it must give me value. Will there be a tie after 0-0, plus of 140, 145, 150? A 7-7, 10-10, 14-14, even later on in the game, a 21 all. I like that. Shortest field goal game, I think we would both agree, in this season's playoffs. We've seen several coaches make some mistakes on third and fourth down. We've seen several coaches not kick a field goal when they should have. Shortest field goal, under 27.5. It's not like you mess up this week, you come back next week and do better. You mess up this week, you're done. You're out. You are the loser. Nobody remembers the loser. I like the longest rush by Purdy, 6.5 yards over. I think both quarterbacks at times are going to be running for their life. That's even money. I love this one. Will there be a special team or defensive touchdown? Two of the best defenses in football.
You think it's going to happen?
I think it could happen, and plus 250 makes me want to bet a few bucks on it. Total receiving yards by Kittle, 49.5. He is a big, I'll tell you what, he is a big guy. He's going to be a big part of this offense. While Purdy and Mahomes are key, I feel getting McCaffrey, getting Kittle, getting Kelsey, I drew a blank on Taylor Swift's boyfriend. Getting these guys, you like that? Getting these guys involved, getting them going, and I think there are going to be some seams that they can exploit. Will Kittle score a TD plus $1.70? Is a steal. Bet it, bank it, bet the kids' college fund. Total.
I've got Kittle scoring the first touchdown of the game. 10-1.
I see enormous value in that. I certainly do. For me, as a bettor, I want to keep things that I have a little more control over, but I can definitely see it. And at 10-1, it is a bargain. Will Patrick Mahomes over 2 touchdowns, plus 170 is value. Pacheco to score a TD, plus 120, especially in short yardage situations. Guys, they're going to go to him. Total receiving yards by Kelsey, 72.5. Over. I'm telling you right now, longest reception by Kelsey, 21.5 yards. Over. These two last ones outside of the 0-0 are my two biggest bets, Gabe. Total receptions by Kelsey, it was 6.5 when I bet it.
Yeah.
I know some of the books brought it up. I didn't check. My bad. I was so excited about seeing you on the show, being with you and Taylor.
Let's see what the updated prop sheet. This is
I like it
here.
over. Even if it goes to 7 or 7.5, I think it's 9, 10, 11 receptions. And one more I do like, Gabe. I love it. Will Kelsey score a TD? Absolutely. Plus 105, plus 110. Every single prop I've given out on this show is minus 110 or better, or their odds in your favor. Guys, remember value. Yes, we talked earlier in the show when Taylor was on the panel. Guys, do I think Mahomes is going to throw a touchdown? Absolutely. But I'm going to lay 500 to win 100. Does not bring me value.
I like Mahomes over 1.5 touchdown passes. You can go for the 2 and get the push, try to get plus money, 2.5, etc. But 7 of the last 9 playoff games, Mahomes has thrown for 2 or more touchdown passes. I love the Travis Kelce prop, even though for the record, I like San Francisco in this game.
Okay.
But you're not going to shut Travis Kelce down, even though the other team knows it's going to him. And
he's his go-to guy, Gabe.
Well, I've talked about it a lot. He was targeted 11 times. He had 11 catches in the last game. You know how incredible that is? Like, you don't think the Ravens said, and the Ravens had the best pass, technically the best pass defense in the NFL coming into this game. So you don't think the Ravens game plan and said, all right, we're not going to let Kelce beat us. We've got to watch out for Kelce. Not only did he have 11 catches, they didn't bat one ball down. He didn't drop No. So you look at Kelce, he might have 4 or 5 catches on their first drive, bro.
You know what's so important to a guy like Patrick Mahomes, and I'm going to use Brady and Gronk as an example. We've seen time and time again where Gronk was double teamed. He had guys all over him. Somebody might have had a little bit of an opening. He throws to Gronk. Why? Because he knows 99 of 100 he's going to come down with it. That's the same thing with Kelce. Not only does Kelce provide him with that go-to guy, does he provide him with that assurance? Kelce goes out of his way to give it to the other team and the fans. He really does. And I'll tell you what, he strives on it, he thrives on it. And I'm going to tell you, Mr. Taylor Swift is going to be an intricate part of this game. I like him over. I like him with the receptions over, and I like him to score a touchdown.
So for the record, here at BetMGM right now, it's minus 155 over 6.5 receptions. I'm like Joe D'Amico alongside. I'm Gabriel Morency. I got it in. I bet it like last week before I came out here even. Getting in on the 6.5, knowing that it was going to go up. And Kelce saves his best for these big games. Yeah. So Rashee Rice in practice yesterday had his foot stepped on. Not going to be a problem. How do you feel about Rice coming into this game? Because he had 8 catches against the Baltimore Ravens. His prop is 6.5, which might actually be a little bit ambitious.
You know, it might be a little ambitious, but I do think that
is he going to get to 7 catches?
He might. I'll tell you why, because I do believe Mahomes is going to spread the ball around. Listen, I love the San Francisco 49ers defense. I think they're amazing. And because of that, you're going to see a lot of receivers getting a lot of different passes. I'm going to tell you right now, Pacheco out of the backfield, you might see. I do like McCaffrey coming out of the backfield. I think he is.
I do like Pacheco. Listen, Pacheco's one of the sort of public ones right now. People have been riding him. 65.5 rush yards, though. It's hard to pass that up. Yeah. I like Pacheco over 16.5 receiving yards, Joe, because it doesn't take much. You can get that on 1 catch, 2 catches, 3 catches. And I do think that both running backs are going to be massive parts. They're both massive parts of the game plan. Absolutely. McCaffrey out of the backfield catching passes, and even Pacheco, because they're kind of limited at the wide receiver position.
Gabe, especially because these two defenses are so good. So these receivers can be blanketed at times. And you will see these two guys coming out of the backfield and catching passes. It'll be a little dink and dunk. I'll tell you right now, it's going to be a big part of both offensive units' game plans.
Joe D'Amico kicking it with us. What else do you like, Joe?
That's really about it for the props. Listen, I like less is more. We'll
recap on the other side. We're going to have a couple of more minutes with Joe D'Amico on the way out here live from the MGM Grand. Our Super Bowl 58 coverage on SportsGrid continues. Keep it locked right here on the grid. Bring it. Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He doesn't run well. the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco, anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts for Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off, the Chiefs do, 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, like, because of the 23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I
don't.
have.
You don't. I have a hat
lot
bag.
of
He has a hat
Look, I have a
bag.
hat bag. I carry this
That's
around.
not a purse or
this
man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
Hey, by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency. Welcome back to the MGM Grand, straight from the Strip in Las Vegas, Nevada. Countdown to kickoff continues. We're getting fired up. Let's do this thing. The big game is nearly here. Fans are enjoying themselves. I got to tell you, though, we got Chief Nation in the house here. Chiefs.
There we go.
I got to tell you, the Chief fans are starting to, I don't know, man.
On the pilot. I think the Niner fans are rowdier and drunker, but the Chief fans are starting to come in.
I don't want to insult anyone. I think the Chief fans have more money. I was going to say it. Niner fans are on Fremont Street.
I'll be walking Gabe to his car after the show, I'll tell you that.
No, I'm just stating, like, they're down there like on Fremont, taking the joint over right now. There's fans of both teams here, but it's confusing at times because they're both red.
Yeah,
like that's serious. So like sometimes in the parking lot, and they cross paths, and they all merge. It's like they have the same, like they're not both wearing red in the game, but there's a lot of fans that are both wearing red jerseys, Niner jerseys and Chief jersey here.
Absolutely. Well, that saves in a lot of fights and altercations, you know. But I
haven't seen any confrontations, which has been cool.
Gabe, this is Vegas. It is Super Bowl weekend. We got WrestleMania. We got U2. We had a fight. We got everything going. As you said, Slapfest, guys. It doesn't get bigger or better than Vegas. It doesn't get bigger or better than stuff going on here. Yeah, Slapfest.
Slapfest.
Listen to me.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to all your former teammates at Xavier High too, right? You're 11.
My Xavier brothers. Hey, there you go,
Xavier
baby.
High,
I love
New York City,
and
right?
A big shout out to my son, United States Marine Corps. We love you. My father and my wife, Dion. I love you. She's at home. I'm gonna have to explain to her why I was sitting so close to Taylor at the beginning of the show. Trust me, like this. You know a good divorce lawyer?
There's a lot of them here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe. So we've got about 30 seconds, 40 seconds here. Tell everybody gathered around here right now, who's Joe D'Amico taking to win Super Bowl 58?
Kansas City Chiefs, baby. Take them on the money line, but take the points anyway. Just there on the side of caution. They'll win. Patrick Mahomes is the new Tom Brady. Take it. Bet the kid's college fund. Doesn't matter if he goes to Tallahassee Junior College anyway. That's it.
They're not going to college anyways. Chief fan just yelled from the back. They're not going to college anyways. Don't worry. Joe D'Amico.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Wow, it's a long day already.
We are kicking it live at MGM Grand. I am Gabriel Morency. Countdown to kickoff is on. We're right on the heart of the Strip right now. We're right near Legion Stadium as well, and it's starting to get pretty rowdy here.
Just doing this.
It's getting a little lit here.
Oh, is that right?
Can you guys turn off Joe's microphone since he's not on the air with us anymore? Thank you very much. I'm dealing with enough noise as it is without people talking over us here. All right, so we've got another guest joining us. We got a bunch of people joining us. I hope my boy Clay Harbor can roll in. I ran into Clay. We did the best that we could all week long, but I got to tell you, SportsGrid really kicked some serious ass this week as far as our guests were concerned. All the shows. Pharrell had some great guests on this week. Our boy Tony Finn is in the house as well. We're going to get to Tony's best bets. I've been talking. I'm going to start throwing off some of mine here right now because, listen, we're all on the clock here as far as the game is concerned. First half. I do believe the San Francisco 49ers are going to have the lead after the first half. We've seen Shanahan doesn't have a problem winning the first half. He has a problem hanging on as the game goes on. If you want to take the San Francisco 49ers to win the first half and to win the game, it's plus 145. I don't think that's enough value, right? I mean, the money line isn't very much on the football game anyways. So I do think there's value with San Francisco to win the first half and Kansas City to win the game at plus 550. Even though I think San Francisco are going to win the game, you have San Francisco in the first half and you have a little bit of insurance after the fact. But why do I not think the double result is not really a great play? Plus 145 just quite simply is not enough money for them to win the game and win the first half. And the good thing about this is, too, if we take the first half and they win the first half bet, and then they end up losing the game, you can still say, listen, I cashed the ticket with the San Francisco 49ers. All right, speaking of the San Francisco 49ers, we have 49er fan extraordinaire in the house with us.
Hey!
Monica Madrid.
That's right. What's up? Why am I sitting by this helmet? Something's wrong here.
Yeah, we'll put this one in front of you.
This is bad juju. I got it. I'm saying. I'm already here rearranging your set. What's up, sexy people?
What do we even need this for?
Right. What is it even here for?
But for legal purposes, we need to leave it. But, hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Great
you.
Stuff. So how excited are you?
Very, very excited.
So why don't you tell people about yourself and your podcast and what you do, where women teach and talk football. Football is sexy.
100%.
Is the podcast, and you've been kicking some serious ass. You got all kinds of NFL players on the show and all kinds of Niners and stuff. Why don't you tell our audience about your show?
Yes.
And what you do.
Thank you for the intro. So Football is Sexy is literally where women talk and teach football, right? But we're for everyone, for all teams, but I'm a diehard faithful, of course. We have a podcast, all women talking football. We had Michael Wilbon on, Joe Davis. We've had some incredible women on, and we're the first app to ever teach football. Would you believe that?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so now you can download the free app. 10 lessons, trivia questions.
At Football is Sexy.
Yeah, at Football Sexy on Android and Apple. And
you guys have a ton of followers on Instagram, right?
Yes. Yeah, we're keep climbing. I started with 400, and I think we're close to 40,000 right now.
Good stuff. So, you see, I've always known women in sports. You see, the women's college basketball right now is just booming. The WNBA, the Olympics, etc. But the National Football League for years, basically 50% of their fans were women. No one would really ever acknowledge it. You see it more and more now. I just saw, because of the Taylor Swift effect, that the ratings are up 9% with women this year. I don't know if that's all Taylor Swift, but I'm sure it's partially so. But do you notice the growth of the game with women and the sport of football?
I mean,
and flag football, Flag football participation, especially with the Olympics coming up in 2028.
And now it is part of the high school
Yes, yeah.
As part of it's now it's being really looked at as
it's on the
sport.
verge of being an accredited sport.
100%,
Actually, yeah.
100%. And as far as the Swifty thing goes, we'll never know exactly, but as long as more people, men or women, come to football, I'm all about it, right? Because it's such an amazing sport, as you know. Like, I can't imagine how people aren't football fans. Like, I don't know what it would be like to not be a football fan. But I just love that we're bringing more women. However, I do believe we've always been here.
Yeah.
I just feel like, because I've been a diehard football fan ever since I can remember, and there's women that are,
Well, look, it would have been laughable years ago that there was women referees in the NFL, which there are now.
Well, it's time that we feel seen and heard
And assistant
in the world
coaches
of football.
there are now,
Yeah.
right? So
But
the growth is there. We
the growth
see the
is
development.
happening. And
There could be more, like, obviously.
It always can be more, but we're here now, and I think it's only going to get better from here.
All right, so as far as the game itself is concerned, we've had a lot of people that are picking the Kansas City Chiefs, handicappers, former NFL players. Oh, you can't get in front of Patrick Mahomes. That's all we hear all the time. What I said is, no, you can't get in front of Patrick Mahomes' father if you're crossing the street because he's lit up and he might run you over, right? I'm not afraid of getting in front of Patrick. Listen, he hasn't won every Super Bowl he's been in. He's been in 3 of them, and he's won 2 of them. But he is awesome. He's an awesome quarterback. Reed's a great coach, and they do perform. You always
At a
hear
high level.
They really do. Like,
And
people
when they
always
need it
say,
the most.
yeah, people
That's
always
the
say,
thing.
oh, Buffalo could have done this, Baltimore could have done this. Well, KC just find a way all the time. How do you look at this football game, a rematch from 4 years ago?
Yeah. Listen, it's going to be a battle. In order for my boys to win, and they will win, they have to come out strong in the first half. We can't be down 24-7 like we were in Detroit. And I was there at both games, by the way.
Yeah.
Gave me a heart attack, both games. Cried, like it was crazy. We have to come out strong.
What I like, though, sorry, Monica,
Yeah.
I want to say what I like about this is that Brock Purdy and the Niners as a whole showed when our
great.
back's against the wall, we can move the ball and score. They scored 27 points.
Amazing.
And not to mention the drive against the Packers.
Yep.
Purdy showed
Yep.
grace under pressure.
And that's what
I think Purdy's ready for this moment.
That's what I expect to see. I'm hoping that we're going to see a little bit more of a mobile quarterback in Brock Purdy. Because you saw what happened in the fourth quarter against Detroit. You saw him come alive. And I don't know if, I was watching, I was like 10 rows from the field. And, when he dropped back, he was hitting those throws. In the beginning, he really wasn't dropping back. He's not a tall quarterback. So I don't know what that was about. I keep going, I need to talk to Kyle. I need to talk to him. I need to know why he wasn't dropping back in the first half. He's a shorter quarterback. But whatever we did, I'm telling you, by the way, I was there at halftime. And when we were down and Journey came on halftime, it changed everything.
Yeah, I thought it sort of changed the
Oh, don't stop. But, I'm telling you.
It changed it.
It was
Listen,
meant to be.
We're up against it right now. Football is sexy.
Football is sexy.
Check out the app. Monica Madrid in the house. Go Niners.
Go Niners. Woo! Baseball.
I've noticed, Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If he doesn't run well, the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco anytime touchdown. If they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts for Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, because of the $23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I
don't.
have.
You don't. I have a hat
lot of
bag.
He has a hat
Look, I have a
bag.
hat bag.
He-
I carry this
that's
around.
not a purse or man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
We are kicking it live at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're right down the street from Allegiant Stadium. Beautiful property, beautiful city, beautiful people. Everybody's having a great time. Now there's sort of there's Niner fans are now in the house. They're taking over.
How about that transition?
Yeah, like
it was all Chiefs.
A few minutes ago. Now it's all Niner fans in the house. So Brady, you were with us earlier in the week here, and it's always a pleasure, my man. How's the week been treating you? Once you get caught up to date with some of your adventures.
Well, I tell you, it really started on Monday, kind of, getting the final thoughts in on the handicaps, starting to look at the prop menu and that type of thing. And then we kicked it off on Wednesday at Radio Row, and that was just awesome. Interviewed about 15 different people, bettors, handicappers, media types, athletes. Got to talk to a guy that we went to the same high school, Aaron Taylor, a guy that played for Notre Dame and the Green Bay Packers.
I didn't know that. You went to the same high school. Big man.
Yeah, so he was great. And then yesterday was really cool. We had the Sports Illustrated Golf Invitational. It was all to support Max Crosby's foundation. And Paige Spiranek was there. Max was there. Adam Kaplan, our COO, was there.
Josh Allen?
No, Josh Allen was not there, but I spoke with Kyle Pitts, and it was a lot of fun out there at TPC Las Vegas. Beautiful golf course out here in Las Vegas, and spent all day there. Just again,
where was Phil playing? Because I was on.
He's at the Las Vegas Country Club. That's where the live event is.
Oh, because I was on with Pat McAfee, and one of Pat's regulars, the guy on the show, is Darius Butler.
Okay,
who's a pretty good golfer, and he played with Phil.
Maybe they had a Pro-Am day or something.
Yeah,
that's
so
at the Las Vegas Country Club.
Right across the street from the Superbook. Yeah,
exactly.
The Westgate.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, there's so much going on.
That's where they filmed the movie Casino.
Yes.
They
even have a plane in the pond out there on number 11, and a little story about how it all went down. It's awesome.
Do they?
They really do. Yeah, and they have a statue of Dean Martin by the first tee. Great
stuff. My great friend Dave Malinsky lived there.
Yes.
And he told me that he goes, I lived right next to the place. He lived in a unit beside where they filmed the movie, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool.
God bless Dave.
Dave would love this. Yeah, he was a great guy. Really nice guy, but great handicapper, too. Smart guy.
No, he was A+ in both regards there. So Wednesday and Thursday just about knocked me out. I got to take a break and catch my breath again today, then down here for one more show, and then, hey, we roll into Saturday. It's almost time to kick off.
And you are a lifelong Niner fan, so what's your plan for the game on Sunday? Where are you going to watch? You going to watch at home? You going to go out to one of the establishments? Do you want to be alone? What's your Super Bowl process like?
I don't like to go to a big party where a lot of people are concerned about the commercials and the halftime show and stuff like that. I want to watch the game. My wife and I, for about the last 5 years in a row, we've been going to this local tavern. It's a public place, but for Super Bowl Sunday, it's an invite party only. They close the doors.
And they have the sound on?
Total. Everything going on, squares, giveaways, raffles, and everybody's got a seat like right in front of the TV. You pay a certain fee, and it's all you can eat and drink all day.
I'm the same way, Brady, where there's no way in hell. How you doing? Let's roll. I always have a time. You Niners? We going to the Niners, everyone?
Chiefs?
Oh,
He's a Chiefs fan.
Oh, you got all sides here. Oh, there's Niners in the house. I told you it's tough. I said this a couple of minutes ago. They're both red.
Yeah,
it's hard for us to see with the lights, dude. It looks the same.
I saw a guy walking in here, and he had a hat on, and I thought it was a Niners hat, and then I realized it was a Chiefs hat. So Niners are going in white. Chiefs are going to wear red.
Yes, sir. Exactly. The Chiefs are actually the home team. So I'm the same way, Brady, in which I'm not going to go to a Super Bowl party and watch the game with people that want the commercials or want to have a couple of drinks and talk about their life and, how's work going? And no.
Give me some more of that guacamolle.
I don't mind. I love the vibe of being in a sports book, though.
Yeah.
Different.
This is a sports bar.
No, but you're with gamblers and people. Everyone's
all the same mindset.
No one wants to talk to you. They're like, dude, I'm trying to watch. I got my bets here, bro. No, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
I don't
totally.
mind. I love the vibe of with people. I guess I don't like normal people, and I only like hanging around with lifelong degenerate gamblers, Brady. I guess that's what I'm saying.
You should come to our place, man. Yeah, so
I'm like, no, I had no way I go to a party, except I'll hang with all these people right here, no problem. Like,
you're sitting there, you're right in front of the TV at the bar, and you're getting waited on. Can I have another drink? Can I have another sandwich? And they're doing giveaways for the squares and stuff like that. I mean, you're locked in. It's a great time. I like it a lot better than, being by myself or going to a party with,
So what about, though, you're a fan, nothing at all about, man, I'm a Niner fan, I'm going to go to the game?
Nah, it's enough being here this week and all the hustle and bustle. It's great. I'm kind of done with the crowds. I want to just sit down and have my beer and watch the ball.
You want to get off the strip, is what you're saying. You want to go back.
I've been here 30 years. I've seen that strip plenty enough, right?
I was talking to some Niner fans actually. And I asked them, I said, you guys going to the game? And they said, no, man, we're watching the game. Some of them were watching here. Some of them were talking about going to other spots. And there was a common theme. And they knew the tickets are down to $6,000 right now. But they all said, man, I'd rather go and have a great time and bet on the game.
Yeah.
Dude, you spend $6,000 on the ticket, Brady. You better bet 12 on the game. You're already down 6 dimes.
Exactly. Good point. Right?
Just to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the game and your Niners? For the record, I'm kind of in a minority when it comes to people handicapping on our show. We've got a ton of NFL guys, Super Bowl champions. Almost every player is picking Kansas City. I've got San Francisco winning 27-23.
Yeah, I'm like 26-24. I'm nervous, though. I'm telling you. I mean, this ain't no cupcake opponent or cupcake quarterback. And it's been going around all week. Well, I can't bet against Mahomes. I get that. That's real. But I think the Niners are going to get them. They've been the better team all year. I think there's something to the revenge factor, too, Gabe. It was 4 years ago in the Super Bowl that they lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Chiefs in the regular season in 2022. A lot of the same players are on both of these teams. And I think the Niners want to make amends for what has happened the last couple times.
This could almost turn into a new phenomenal rivalry. Although as a Buffalo Bill fan, I'd like to see the Bills crash the party.
Right.
But as you stated, imagine San Francisco win this game. They play again another time. Right? And then there's sort of the trilogy. I get the feeling, you look at Coach Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh is a football lifer. His father was a coach at Western Kentucky. Shanahan, football lifer.
Right.
A lot of similarities between them. Yeah, go Blue. A lot of similarities between them. Look at Shanahan and his life. And even with his father, watching his father struggle, get fired by the Raiders. I lived in L.A. when that happened. Then win the Super Bowls with the Broncos. Shanahan being an offensive coordinator with the Falcons, being up 28-3, having a double-digit lead in the Super Bowl 4 years ago against the Kansas City Chiefs, a double-digit lead in the NFC Conference Championship game 2 years ago in Los Angeles against the Rams. I get the feeling that it's Shanahan's time, that Shanahan is finally going to lift that trophy.
And boy, do I want him to do it so, because everything you talked about, and I kind of talked about, some past history and getting revenge. It's all along
Brady,
the same
I used
line.
Harbaugh because Harbaugh had been through so much through his life and finally
You're spot on.
There.
No, I think absolutely. This is a much bigger deal for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers than it is the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe. And so my heart is certainly rooting that direction. I think there's a good chance they're going to pull it off. 26-24 is and I bet on that exact score, 150-1.
My score is 27-23, is 125-1.
Nice.
But I'm going to take yours as well. At these prices, we could take a bunch.
Yeah,
of
I
them.
bet about 3 different numbers. I bet the Niners.
It's like betting golfers, long shots.
There you go.
It's right in your wheelhouse.
I bet the Niners to land exactly on like 29, 26, and 27, and I bet the Chiefs to land on exactly like 22, 23, and 24.
I don't want to scare you because you're a lot smarter than I am. I'm louder, but I've got people keep asking me my scores. I'm like 27, 23, 27, 24, 26, 23.
Yeah.
So we're right in that
like
same
the over?
ballpark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just barely.
Right.
Just barely.
I hear you.
I think it just barely gets there. All right, Brady's going to be with us. We're going to get more of his props here. And Tony Finn is going to step up and in on the set. Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If he doesn't run well, the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco, anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts from Pacheco, if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, because of the 23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I
don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat
Look,
bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
not a purse or man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency. We're kicking it at MGM Grand. Welcome back to Sports Grid's coverage of Super Bowl 58. This is it. I guess we're the final show. This is the final countdown, actually. Shout out to our crew, Pat Foster and Sam, doing a great job. I'm disappointed. It's too bad. It came up today when I was on McAfee's show about Josh Allen. And Pat even goes, I could have. And I was like, could have, you know what I mean? Could have put me on with Josh Allen, but I'm not. But then I proceeded to call Josh Allen out. And I know he watches the show. So I basically said, I'm tired of seeing Josh Allen at Media Row every year.
Yeah.
Because it means we're not in the Super Bowl. So next year, I don't want to see you walking around Media Row playing in celebrity golf tournaments in New Orleans. We're going to be playing in the goddamn game. So Brady Cannon says the San Francisco 49ers, 26-24. What is 150 to 1?
Yeah.
151 final score, correct score prop. Mine is 27-23. That's 125 to 1. 27-24 for San Francisco is 80 to 1. 27-24 KC is 90 to 1. So I'm not a big hedger. Hedging is for gardeners. I'm not a big hedger, but I don't mind playing these massive correct score props, even on both sides. Hey, you bet all this money on San Francisco, but oh my God, KC won 27-24. Oh man, that's right. I bet that scored 125 to 1. Right, you know what I mean?
Super Bowl wasn't so bad after all.
Yeah, like that. It could be a nice savior, Brady.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Talk to me about some of the props that you're looking at, Mr. Cannon.
Well, I added a couple more that I like today. We talked about it earlier in the week. I like Brock Purdy under on the attempts. I like Elijah Mitchell over 1.5 yards rushing. If he gets the ball, I think he's going to, gain a few yards. He's a really good running back. Let's see. I had yes, there will be a score in the final 2 minutes of the first half. You got to lay a big price on that. I had Christian McCaffrey. His first reception will be under 6.5 yards. But I added a couple today. Kyle Juszczyk over 3.5 yards receiving.
This is a trendy one, and I'm hopping on board with this one, actually. It's basically one catch.
Right.
Two catches and 33 yards in the last game.
You can also bet him to have under or over half a catch. Is he going to get a catch or not?
Yeah.
The book I was looking at didn't have that, but they had under or over 3.5 yards.
So let me get you.
Same difference, really.
This is updated from today, actually. All right, Juszczyk, receptions. Play receptions. Not listed on this sheet.
So, pick your poison. Oh, is he going to catch the ball once, or is he going to gain 4 yards? I think if he catches it once, he'll gain at least 4 yards. So
Valdes-Scantling is 1.5. He steps up in big games, this guy.
Yeah.
That's his
had a big catch in the last game.
Yeah, that was his only catch.
Yeah, right. The other one, this is an interesting one, though, Gabe. And you got to give credit here to our mutual friend Adam Chernoff, also up in Canada. And he tipped me on this one. I was listening to him today. And you got to bet this one late. It's on Isaiah Pacheco under his rushing attempts.
Yeah.
Not yardage. I don't necessarily want to go under 67, 68, 70 yards or whatever. But his rushing attempts are up there around 16, 17. It might even get to 18. If you bet it late, I think people are continuing to hammer the over on this particular prop bet.
So you're saying wait it out. So it's
wait
to
it
wait
out,
late
and then
I
think take the under.
Dude, I love where you're going with this, Brady. I brought it up earlier. It was 16.5, right? It opened up 16.5.
Right, which is more than he averaged throughout the year. He's just had a lot in the last couple games because they've been bleeding the clock and they're ahead.
They were up against Miami, and they knew Miami were a bunch of snowmen that couldn't score. They ran the ball.
And they were decimated by injury.
They ran the ball.
Yep.
They had the lead in both those games.
This game's going to be different, I think.
I totally agree with you. I don't think
he gets coming from behind.
I like your angle.
So I'm going to let that number get bumped up by the folks that are arriving tonight, tomorrow, and then I'm going to try and find as high as number I can and bet the under.
So for the record, they didn't have Juszczyk reception, like the over-under 0.5. They have it. It's 3.5 yards, though.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like
it.
It's a very similar bet.
Anything else?
Let's see. I have Christian McCaffrey under 90.5 rushing yards. Now, he could obviously get 100. He could get 125. If that happens, the Niners are probably going to win. But I also think he's obviously a focal point of this Kansas City defense and what they have to stop in order to slow down San Francisco. So he's going to be a huge area of focus no matter if he's catching the ball, rushing the ball, what have you. He might gain 75, 80 yards, score 2 or 3 touchdowns, and win MVP.
Yep.
He still might not get to 90, though. So I like that bet under his rushing total of, somewhere in the neighborhood of 91 and a half yards.
I just talked about not liking the hedge, but at the same point in time, if he goes over that number, he's going to be the MVP.
Right.
And I actually think he is going to be the MVP. I've got McCaffrey scoring 2 touchdowns and winning the MVP.
I think I'm going to bet on him.
And he could totally 79 rushing yards,
2 or 3 touchdowns,
62 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns type thing.
Yep. He just won Offensive Player of the Year. He's got to be inspired by that. He's got to be pumped up about that. We know he's going to get a bulk of the action out here. There's no tomorrow. They're not going to sit him down. They might give him a breather once or twice, and that's why I kind of like the Elijah Mitchell over 1.5 yards rushing. But no, I'm with you on McCaffrey at 5-1 for MVP, and I also am going to play a long shot for MVP. Every now and then a defensive player wins this thing, right? Von Miller for the Broncos. You get these guys that have huge games. Maybe they get a pick six, a fumble recovery, what have you. At 100-1, I'm going to take a shot with Fred Warner.
Fred Warner, interesting. And you know what? I've actually got a Fred Warner prop that I played. It's 8.5. I played a same game parlay. I didn't want to play the price with McCaffrey and the touchdown prop. So I was like, I'm just going to have some fun with this. I played Christian McCaffrey to score a touchdown. Nick Bosa over 1.5 solo tackles.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
And Fred Warner over 8.5
solo or assisted.
And assisted tackles.
I like that one too. I haven't played it yet, but I just might.
Like he's 11, 13, like he's a tackling machine.
This is another one.
And it's a prop that people don't talk about, like defensive tackle props.
I love those props because they're under the radar.
And they're going to be throwing at Kelsey so much. How many times is Warner going to get a piece of Kelsey?
Absolutely. And running backs.
Yeah.
Another one that Chernoff threw out on the other side of the ball, their star linebacker, Nick Bolton, over on his tackles and assists as well. Because, again, the Niners throw to the middle of the field, those crossing routes.
That's one that I didn't hear all week. So, yeah, I'm going to give him credit for that. I didn't hear that
9.5, I believe, is the number. But he's going to be busy. He's going to be busy with Christian McCaffrey. The way San Francisco organizes their rushing attack, their zone rushing attack, and then also their receivers crossing the middle, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. I think Nick Bolton's going to be busy. I kind of like that one to go over 9.5.
Let me see what Brock Purdy. How do you feel about Brock Purdy's passing yard prop? Everyone's liking the under of this.
I'm torn on that one, Gabe. I went attempts rather than yardage.
So you bet Brock Purdy under pass attempts.
Right, which was 31.5. And, if the Niners are going to win this game, Brock Purdy's not throwing it 35, 40
right?
times.
Yeah.
Right. So I think ideally they want Purdy to throw it 26, 28 times, complete, 20, 22 balls, 2 or 3 touchdown passes, whatever it is. He could possibly win MVP with that stat line, but I don't think they want him throwing it 35 times.
Brock Purdy's updated passing yard prop right now is 245.5 here at BetMGM. That's just too light. And, a couple of big plays, broken coverage, right?
Sure. And it seems like under's the popular play because everybody's pro Mahomes and anti Purdy, or the masses are, the majority is. So Purdy could be a good play, contrarian-wise, to take some yeses and some overs.
Well, one of the reasons I like San Francisco is I'm not afraid of Purdy. I think that Purdy's going to be able to play well enough for them to win this football game. What about Brock Purdy rush yards? It opened at 10.5. I got a bad number. I got in at 12.5. BetMGM right now is 12.5, but I've saw 13.5s popping up already.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if it got to 14.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to stay away from that.
It's the train's left the station on this, hasn't it?
It has, and I don't think you have a bad number. I mean, a couple runs and you're a winner. But you know how it is in sports betting. I hate to be on something that is so popular.
And something that just happened because nobody would have been talking about Brock Purdy.
All of a sudden he's a mobile quarterback.
Because he was running for his life. He took off a couple of times against the Lions, right?
Yep. All of a sudden he's Lamar Jackson. Like, wait a minute. No, he didn't do that throughout the year. I wouldn't mind 12, but 13, 14, I'm going to stay away on that one, Gabe.
Here's one, Brady, that I played. I think I talked about earlier in the week. And a lot of smart guys that I respect They were impressed with my play about the under 10.5 penalties.
I love that one.
Accepted in the game.
Fantastic, and a great number you got on that one, because I think a lot of shops have 9.5.
Is it 9.5 now? Yeah. Is it here in the sheet here? Let's see. I'm gonna find out.
Well, we talked about this on Tuesday's show. Bill Vinovich.
Oh man, you know Bill Vinovich has called the least pass interference penalties in the NFL since 2018.
Wow, I did not know that, but I know he doesn't call many holding calls either on the offensive line.
There's a reason, Brady, why they picked him for this game.
Yeah, they want to let the kids play, right?
Gene Steratore was on today before me on the McAfee show. Very interesting guest.
Absolutely.
And
Love
obviously done Super Bowls, and he basically said, unless you hit someone over the head with a mallet, no, like he said, he goes, it's the Super Bowl for the refs too.
Yeah.
Because it's our biggest day of our lives.
That's a great point.
We don't want to screw it up.
Yep.
Right? And they basically sort of like wink, wink. They're going to let him play.
Go. Yeah.
They're going to let him play.
I do hope they call some holding, though,
That
on
it
the
doesn't get
offensive
carried
lines.
away, right?
Right, because
that could hurt our over, Brady. If they're not calling anything, that hurts the offense more.
Well, I don't think so. If they're not calling anything, no punts, no stalled drives.
Yeah, points. Yeah, okay, no, I hear you saying, but you know what I mean? Let's just say, man,
if they're not calling pass interference, it hurts.
Blatant pass interference,
right? Yeah.
And Vinovich's reputation is for letting pass. That's what Niner fans were angry about after the last Super Bowl, but everybody's angry about something. Brady Cannon, awesome stuff.
Let's do it, man. Go Niners.
Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If he doesn't run well, the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts for Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, because of the $23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I
don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
That's
around.
not a purse or a man bag. It's a hat bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency. Welcome back to the MGM Grand. Countdown to kickoff continues. Super Bowl 58. This is it. We're into the home stretch right now. It's been a wild week. We've been broadcasting all week long here from the MGM Grand. And, of course, we've been on Media Row all week long. We've shared a lot of picks with you. We're going to share more before we're done. Tony Finn steps up and joins us. Tony, nice to see you went all out with your wardrobe for Super Bowl weekend. How you doing?
Doing really nicely, especially since you said you'd buy me a new
No, I didn't say I
sweatshirt.
was buying you anything. I sort of assumed you'd show up
Here, listen, I was only 15 minutes late, guys, and so I valeted to get in here quickly. And the guy said, "Don't." I said, "Are you here all night?" I said, "No, I'm just here for the show." And he said, "Okay, well, you can pay your valet $100 when you leave." I said, "What?" I said, "Okay."
Well, so you're saying it's costing you money?
No, I'm saying.
Tony Finn's like one of these rich people that he doesn't have to pretend like he doesn't dress up, or at least that's the hustle here. So Tony is Mr. Kansas City.
No, well, I'm not Mr. Kansas City, but I'm married to Mrs. Kansas City.
So you're married to Mrs. Kansas City.
Right.
You are a Royals fan.
I am.
What about the Chiefs?
Well, I like the Chiefs. I mean, I think it's hard not to like the Chiefs. I've been saying it all week, and people keep saying, but Tony, look at the numbers. Look at you got one of the best offenses and one of the best defenses, and Kansas City's been pedestrian all year. And I said, yeah, well, they have one thing that San Francisco doesn't have. They got this magic man called Mahomes, who's 10-1-1 against the spread as an underdog in his career, et cetera, et cetera. This game's more than stats. You know that. Super Bowls they're more than stats, and the experience matters. It really matters, and I'm not saying that the Chiefs are going to run away and hide in this game, or this is going to be a high-scoring affair. It's going to be a chess match.
But when you say experience matters,
yeah,
the San Francisco 49ers were in the Super Bowl 4 years ago.
Yes, they were, but Purdy wasn't.
No, so
right.
he wasn't.
That's true. And let's be honest.
Shanahan was. So
yes.
McCaffrey wasn't. No, I get it. They're not. Yeah. That's why I haven't spent too much time emphasizing or talking about that game, because to me they're different teams.
Yes.
Jimmy Garoppolo was the quarterback of the Niners. Mm-hmm. Tyreek Hill was the focal point along, with Kelsey, but Hill was the focal point. Bieniemy was there. They're different staffs. You got same head coaches. Mm-hmm. There are some similarities here, though. But I understand the experience factor with Purdy, but I don't think that it affects anybody else on the San Francisco 49ers.
No, I wouldn't argue with that. But I will say this: as San Francisco goes, so goes Purdy, or the other way around too. As Purdy goes, so goes San Francisco. It's inevitable the way they run their offense. Unless you're going to hand it off to McCaffrey all day long. So
I know, but the thing is, and you're not the only one to say that, right? So that's been a common thing. But what am I missing in this is that San Francisco's offense is better than Kansas City's offense. So like all this talk about all the time, well, Brock Purdy, they score nearly 30 points a game. Yeah. They just scored 27 points in the second half of the game against the Detroit Lions last week. Yeah. The Kansas City Chiefs are the ones that can't score. They only score 22 points a game.
Yeah, it's funny because I really don't think that's the anchor to this. What wins? Offense isn't going to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be the best defense that wins the Super Bowl.
The higher ranked defense generally does win the Super Bowl when they go head to head.
And right now, season long, at least the metrics and the math says, hey, for the whole season, San Francisco's better. However, since they lost to the Ravens, if you look at the numbers of the San Francisco defense, including the 2 playoff games, they've regressed, and they're not the best defense, at least in form.
No, I can't argue with that. Yeah. But another thing, to play devil's advocate, though, I hear this a lot. People, San Francisco aren't the same team. They didn't play well over the last month of the season, or they didn't play the same, and then how they played the playoffs. What happened so everyone keeps talking about how San Francisco lost to Baltimore, right, on Christmas Day.
Yes.
What did the Kansas City Chiefs do that day?
They got crushed by, I think, the Raiders.
Yeah, they got crushed by the Las Vegas Raiders, right? Right? Is that true? Yeah. Funny how, San Francisco, their losses mattered, but the Chiefs lost. Oh, well, that's different. Kansas City Chiefs wouldn't even be here now if the Buffalo Bills weren't a bunch of choking-ass bitches. Let's just call it out for what it is.
And we'll say this.
And I'm a Bills fan. That's why I'm allowed to say that.
And San Francisco wouldn't be here if Detroit didn't choke it away either.
No, that's not true. They didn't choke it. San Francisco came back and won it.
Yeah,
they scored 27 points in the second half. That's not choking.
No, you're right. I mean, look, but I'll say this. The Ravens, what the Chiefs did to the Ravens was surprising to me. Did it not surprise you?
Niners, see, Niner fans taking over now. Here we go, baby. Niners in the house. No one cares about KC here, Tony. It's Niner country now.
People gonna start throwing
they're
stuff.
Over here, they're over here, they're everywhere.
They're gonna start throwing stuff.
Hey, let me ask you. Hold on. Let me ask you. Who's gonna win the Super Bowl? Hey, the people have spoken. The people have said he thinks Kansas City.
It's the end all.
Boo!
I would say the Chihuahuas, but you can't barely read it. I'd say the team that wins the Super Bowl will be the team that runs the ball as well. The better team will be. The winning team will be the team that can run.
He's been known to do that. Yeah.
Not yet, but I'm going to be drinking very soon.
Hey, so have you guys, though. So Niner fans are saying this guy, he must be drinking. That's why he's picking the Chiefs. I never met a Niner fan that doesn't drink before. I tell you that. You're right about establishing the ground.
Absolutely.
Both teams want to do it.
Yeah.
Who has the better running back?
Well, the stalwart.
Christian McCaffrey's better than Pacheco is.
Absolutely.
And Pacheco's good.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I think you're going to see. Listen, you're going to see a lot of things different. The Chiefs, first off, without their left guard, and listen,
Tony's out.
Listen, early in possessions, you'll see the Chiefs run. They run between the guards. They run between the guards. They're not going to do that. You're going to see them run on edge. In fact, they benefit from that. They're going to run on the edge, and San Francisco gives them more yards on the edge. So.
We were just talking with Brady Cannon. He said he liked Pacheco's under rushing yard attempts. It's getting pretty trendy, and it could go up. It would open up at 16.5, right?
Yeah.
Let's check out the updated number right now.
I will say this.
How many attempts do you think he's going to have?
Well, he hadn't had anything less than 15. So I think his attempts were 16.5, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say this.
Yeah, but they had to lead in 2 of the 3 games.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
3 of the games. Even had a lead on the Bills, actually, at one point, too, yeah.
Here's what happens is I've been really pimping the yardage. I thought Pacheco, I liked his over in the yards. However, with Tooney out, this is what happens when you run off the edge. You can pop some big ones, but you have a lot more negative runs. You have a negative one.
For loss.
Absolutely right. So that concerns me if you're on the over.
So do you like the over or the under the game? You like Kansas City to win the game, but what about the total?
Well, I lean to the under, but it's just difficult for me to get there when I do all the math.
It's a very good, it's a perfect number they set, the 47.5, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Like even Teddy asked me how do we get there? I said, you know what? I think there's 5 touchdowns in the game.
Yeah.
And 4 field goals.
Really?
That adds up to 47. I still think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring than that. So let's say, you know what? I'm going to say that. 6 touchdowns and 4 field goals?
Yeah. Riddle me this.
Which gets us to 49.
Riddle me this. What we have is this. You got Kansas City. Their over-under is 21.5 in this game. That's their team total.
Oh, sorry, 55. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
My math was off. Sorry, Tony. Go on.
Okay, 21.5. 21.5 over-under for the Chiefs. 20.5 for San Francisco.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense either. But what I'm trying to say is this. The Chiefs went in 20 games, including the playoffs. They went over 20. They scored 22 or more 9 times out of 20. 45%.
Well, I got a bet in, a prop that I like, is will both teams score 20 or more points?
Right.
And I said yes, that they will.
Now, so how many times did they go under? They went under 11, right? 11 of the 20. Now, here's the deal. Of the 5 teams the Chiefs played, 5 teams that were they qualified for the playoffs, 5 of them this year. How many of those teams did the Chiefs score more than or 22 or more against? Not one. Not one team. 0-5. So the 0-5 the under.
And the big reason why a lot of people are scared of the total of this game is due to the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs they're 19-1 to the under in the fourth quarter.
Oh,
they're 18-2 to the under in the second half.
Yep. They're
Spagnuolo has been a brilliant tactician.
Yes, he has.
The Kansas City Chiefs defense is why they're playing in this game.
Yes.
All the talk about Kelsey and all the talk about Mahomes all the time. Chris Jones is like the badass on that team. And the Mississippi State guys, Gay, and you got Snead, you got Jones, Karloftis out of Purdue.
Yeah.
When you're on a team with a dude who's dating Taylor Swift, you're not going to get any love. But the defense, Chris Jones specifically, the guy's amazing. They really is.
He's an animal. He is. He absolutely is. In fact, you got to love Chris Jones getting both those $1 million bonuses too. They let him get that sack in week.
This could be his last game with them. Actually.
Could be, but
he even brought that up.
He says he don't want to play for anybody else. He wants to retire a Chief. But they all say that, right? When they're just got a contract. But you're right. How about the San Francisco? How about Warner? How about the fact that Warner and his partner in the middle there,
Fred Warner, we talked about it. I like his prop over 8.5 tackles and
so. And the fact is, you can't throw over the middle. Not in the second level against these two linebackers.
So listen, we only got about a minute and a half before the break. What are some of the props you like?
Real quickly, I like under 25.5 completions for Mahomes, mostly because he's not going to be able to hit. He's not going to be able to go over the middle and dink and dunk to
Interesting. Everyone's always picking on Purdy. You say under 25.5 completions for Patrick Mahomes. All right.
Under. And I like the kickoff. There won't be any return more than 27.5 yards. I think inside 2,000 feet elevation is where we're at. You're going to see a lot of touchbacks. I think the concern would be Moody. He's only 60% to 80% for butt kicker. And but I like that as well. I like the fact that I don't think Kelsey gets his yards. I don't think Rich. I don't think the Chiefs, any of the receivers, meet their yards. I like under almost in everything, and so that's why I've been kind of waiting. You and I both know that if you're going to be an under player in props, if you're going to be an over player, you play him early. If you're going to be an under player, you play him late.
You're going pretty contrarian here, though, if you like Kansas City, but you think that a lot of their guys are going under.
I like San Francisco's under as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward here. All right, here we go.
Sure.
Boom. Kickoffs. So basically, will the kickoff be returned or not? The opening kickoff.
20.
Dude, the number is so big right now, you almost just have to say, you know what? Yeah, there's going to be a return and hope for the best that someone comes up short.
Yeah.
Listen, the ball... They use a new ball. The Super Bowl, it's a special ball that they kick off with because they put it in the Hall of Fame after.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like harder.
That's true.
So it's a harder ball, and kickers aren't used to kicking with this ball. So in the past, in the Super Bowl, will the opening kickoff be returned or not was a good bet to the yes. Another thing is, if you're a kickoff returner, you're a special teams guy. You're in the Super Bowl. This is your shot, baby. Like, this is it. I'm only going to get the ball now. Like Devin had, this is my time to shine now. So if a guy is able to return it, he will. And it's like minus 300 that it's going to be a touchback.
Although if you return a Chiefs ball that Andy Reid said, if it's in the end zone, you don't return it, and you return it, you have to be concerned you're going to get eaten by Andy Reid.
Here, where is it here? It's too dark. It's too dark in here. I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
Maybe I just have bad eyesight.
What are you looking at?
I was looking, actually. I want to get the kickoff prop. All right, we're going to wrap up on the other side, live from MGM. Bring it. Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He doesn't run well. the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco, anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts for Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, because of the $23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I
don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat
Look, I have a
bag.
hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
not a purse or
this,
man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency, and we are now officially on the clock. Countdown to kickoff is on. It's time for our best bets, baby. Let's do this thing. Let's start off with the first play of the game. The first offensive play of the game is going to be a rush attempt. Nobody's going to want to do anything stupid to start off the game. 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls, the first offensive play of the game has been a rush attempt. Will the team that scores first win the game? No. Kansas City's going to score first. San Francisco's going to win the game. Will there be a touchdown or a field goal as the first score? First score of the game, field goal, plus 145. First touchdown score of the game, the other tight end, George Kittle, 10-1. Travis Kelce's going to light it up. He's going to do his thing. Give me Travis Kelce over 6.5 receptions. Give me Travis Kelce to score a touchdown as well. We talked about the San Francisco 49ers and Shanahan. They're a very good first half team. Never mind the last playoff games. Look at the Super Bowl with the Falcons up 28-3. Super Bowl against the Chiefs, they had a double-digit lead. The San Francisco 49ers they're going to want to get a lead in the first half and try to make Mahomes come back on them instead of Purdy coming back. Give me the San Francisco 49ers to win the first half. Total penalties in this game. Over under 10.5 accepted penalties. We're going under. Bill Vinovich is the referee. He was the same referee 4 years ago when these two teams played. He called 9 penalties. San Francisco only had 3 penalties in their last game. Kansas City only had 3 penalties in their last game. We're going to go under 10.5 accepted penalties in this football game. First San Francisco Giant to record a reception, Christian McCaffrey, plus 275. First Chief to record a reception in the football game, Travis Kelce, plus 175. Final score of this football game, 27-23. The Vince Lombardi Trophy is going back to the Bay, baby. San Francisco win Super Bowl 58. That is 125-1. 27-23. Play 26-23. Play 27-24. Have a great time. Enjoy the game. Get lit up. And may the winners be yours. Other than that, you're on your own. Later from Vegas.